Now, to celebrate the launch of my Boss RC-5 Ultimate Guide, today's video is taken straight out of that video series. And today, I want to show you how you can set up an external foot switch with the Boss RC-5 looper pedal. This will allow you to expand the control and functionality you have of this compact single track looper pedal. Now, if you want more tutorial videos just like this one, be sure to check out the link in the video description down below for my Boss RC-5 Ultimate Guide, taking through all of the different settings available on this looper pedal. So I now want to show you how we can set up an external foot switch with the Boss RC-5. Now, this is absolutely fantastic feature that's on the Boss RC-5 looper pedal because it allows you to add additional foot switches to the compact looper pedal to make your life a little bit easier when you're trying to control the loop station, because it can be very difficult at times to control all of the different commands on a single foot switch. You know, usually we click record, and then we click playback, and then we double tap to stop the loop track. And sometimes you may just want a dedicated foot switch that will do the play stopping of the looper pedal, so you don't need to double tap or anything silly like that, just to reduce the margin of error that may occur during a live performance. So my favorite way to set up an external foot switch, and in this demonstration, I'm going to be using the Boss FS6 foot switch that will give us 2 additional buttons. I really enjoy setting up this foot switch here to be track play stop. So this means I don't need to do that silly double tap as I just demonstrated. And also I like to set up foot switch B to be track clear. So I click it once, it clears my loop track, and then I can start again and proceed with my performance on the same memory patch. So what we'll do is I'll demonstrate how we set this up in today's video in greater depth, and I'll demonstrate it in action. So let's just go ahead and connect the Boss FS6 to the RC-5. And in order to do this successfully, you're going to need a balanced TRS jack. And this right here is a balanced TRS jack cable. And the reason why you need this style of cable is because this cable has got 2 rings on it, whereas a traditional guitar jack connection only has a single ring on the actual jack connection. And the reason why we need 2 rings is because the way these external foot switches work is basically when you click a foot switch in, it basically sends a signal down the cable. And because this is a dual foot switch design on this specific foot switch, we obviously have 2 different signals being sent from each foot switch. So we need 2 rings on our cable. So there's basically a ring per foot switch to ensure the RC-5 receives the correct command from the destination that it's sent from, and then it can be transmitted correctly into the RC-5 looper pedal. So with that clarified, let's connect the balanced TRS jack to this top connection over here, which is the stop/memory shift connection. So we're going to connect that in there, and then we'll take the other end of this cable and we'll just simply connect it into the A plus B on the Boss FS6. So we can now go ahead and actually program the commands that we want to assign to these foot switches over here. And it's a pretty easy process. We've briefly touched on it before when we explored the memory extent setup in a previous module, and we'll dive deeper into it now and I'll explain a few more settings. So we'll go on over to the setup menu because this is a system setting, so whatever we set up in this menu will be global across all of the memory banks. So we'll scroll over to control, and in here we have got all of the pedal functions. First off, we've got the pedal function that allows us to change how the Boss RC-5 foot switch actually works. So for example, record, play, stop, that's the default setup for this specific foot switch, and we can actually change this if you wish, but I'm just going to leave it in the default state for now, and we're going to go ahead and focus on the FS6. So we're going to scroll over to these 2 options over here, control pedal 1 and control pedal 2. Now those 2 commands and functions are referring to these 2 foot switches over here, but there's something you need to understand about the Boss foot switches, and that's the fact it's not as transparent as you may first think. Now, foot switch A, you would assume inside of this menu would be control pedal 1. Very, very fair assumption. And also control pedal 2, you would assume that would be foot switch B. However, for some strange reason, Boss kind of have inverted this. So control pedal 1 is actually foot switch B, and control pedal 2 is actually foot switch A. So that's some more simple clarification in case you map this and stuff didn't go where you intended it to. So we are going to set up control pedal 1 first, which is obviously foot switch B. And what I want to set this command up to be is actually a clear. I just want it to be a single press and it clears out the loop track that's present on the RC-5. So we're going to go on into this menu, click the memory/value knob encoder, and we'll scroll through and see what settings we have available. And you can see there's a variety of different things you can set up. You've got tap tempo, track reverse, and here we have track clear. So we want to select track clear for today's example for foot switch B. And then for foot switch A, I said I wanted to set this up to be a sort of play stop style command, so I didn't have to do the double press on the default mode for the RC-5. So let's have a look for track stop inside of this menu here. So you can see right here I have track stop, but we may as well set it up to be track play stop. So there we go, we've got track play stop selected, and we can now actually just exit out of this menu because the other commands are for expression pedals and also external MIDI foot remotes, all of which we will take a look at in a moment. So now that we've set that up, let's test it out and see how it works. So first off, let's go about playing the loop that we obviously already have recorded on here, and we can press it again. We can stop the loop, so you can see foot switch A is working perfectly fine. It's doing everything as intended with the RC-5, which is brilliant. And then foot switch B should clear out this preset patch. So we'll click foot switch B. You can see it has cleared out our Boss RC-5 because we now have the blue text present, which was previously white, signify this is now a blank neutral loop. We can go ahead and obviously we could record a new loop, as you can see, play back, and then we can clear that out for a final demonstration. Now, if you want to watch more videos just like this one and learn more about your Boss RC-5, don't forget to check out the link in the video description down below for my Boss RC-5 Ultimate Guide. But as always, I've been Ben Rowlands. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.